What's up, Brody?
What's good? What's good? What's good?
Uh,
Listen, it's hot.
yeah, very, very, very. Um, so before we jump into this, man, anything we need to get caught up on? Everything good?
Yo, I didn't see until recently that Melo's an assistant coach now with the Knicks. Like, how did I miss that?
Knicks and five. Knicks and five. Yeah, yeah. Knicks and five. You see that? You see that first game, right?
Yeah.
First home game.
First home game? It's gonna be wild. I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be like $80,000 for Raptor
One
seats.
and that's all year. That's all year that those tickets are gonna be like so right now. Like if you're a season ticket holder, it's kind of like you have gold, right? Like you have
Yeah.
gold in your hands in
Wait,
every
is
big
your
game.
price locked in?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
No, my
see.
price is not locked in. My
Oh,
price went up.
they know those that make that money.
Yeah, make that money and stay under the second apron, which doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, bro, all profits for the corporation, but like no kind of leniency given, the state of the economy and like all the things that are happening. You still gonna up the price. It's just
Well, I mean, he knows he can pack that place out even when they're a bad team, right?
yeah.
And so why
Why
not?
not? Yeah.
Capitalism.
Capitalism 101, bro. Capitalism 101. I hate it, but I love it, right?
Yeah.
I'll love it more. I'll love it more when I'm in the position to capitalize.
Yeah.
All right, so jumping in, man. We have a teacher. I think his name is Darius Crooks. No, Cooks. My bad. It's not Crooks.
Mhm.
I'm already
You already sent it off.
as being a crook because I feel like he kind of is. But anyway, went viral as of late, and I'll show you why, and then we'll discuss.
I am on my lunch break. It is, I don't know, 11:30 or something like that. And I just finished a 3-hour class. We have what's called block, and block is where first and second periods are combined for subjects that need it. And so I literally broke down in the middle of class because I'm teaching seniors. These kids are leaving high school and going to college, hopefully, after they finish. We had 2 paragraphs to read, 1 sentence complete to write. I gave them the sentence stems. I basically completed the sentence for them in the model. These are 17 and 18-year-old kids, and they couldn't fill in 4 words. 4 words. I gave them the scenario. We annotated together. I gave them the answers before we even had the problem. And they couldn't do it.
All right, bro. I hate everything about this. Talk to me. What are your thoughts?
But before you tell me what we hate about it, can I just say that polo is fire? I'm a fan.
Yeah,
Like I like the polo.
the polo's fire. Bro had on a bracelet and then a diamond bracelet around
Yeah.
it, right? So like you already is given performative, right? Like already is given like, all right, I'm not even supposed to be in here. I'm supposed to be like in a rapper's video. Like, it's not given. It's not given teacher in Houston ISD at all, right? That's first and foremost. But like, talk about what you hate. Talk about what you love. I don't know where you are.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think this. What I'll say is, if authentic, what I love is the passion for the work, right? I think I don't know Mr. Cooks, but what I'll say is that we need we need educators who, for them, are that passionate about making sure that students are able to be successful. So I'm going to pretend, I'm going to take it, not pretend, I'm going to believe that his heart is in the right place and he feels like really convicted about this work. What I hate, right, is that this is something that needs to be communicated out to the world and not a process for working with school districts and leaders to address what is significant lacks in the educational process at the school. And so for me, those are sort of the two things. I am sitting here choosing to believe that the perceived performative nature of that video was authentic.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. So I think everything about that video with Cooks is bullshit. First and foremost, you're trying to build trust with students, right? And so building trust with students and allowing them to be vulnerable to you and with you doesn't mean that you run to social media to talk about their deficits, right? I'm 1000% in the belief that he's not made any kind of positive phone calls home. He has not looked at these kids in their eyes and seen them as humans. He's not found any kind of ways to make connections with them, to push them. He barely even knows them from it being the first couple of days of school. So you don't know what motivates them. You don't know if they just messing around, giving you a hard time. You don't know. And the first thing you do is you run to the internet. That's absolute bullshit, absolute performative. And I want teaching to get away from going to be social media famous and be classroom famous. Like, I'm tired of this shit, bro. Like, I'm tired.
Yo, that's it. We're making shirts. Don't be social media famous. Be classroom famous.
Classroom famous, bro. I want you to be classroom before you can be social media famous. You got to be classroom famous, man. I remember because Steve, I remember coming into Baltimore City public schools in the early 2000s. I won't give specific dates. I won't give names of schools or whatever, because like I believe in young people having the opportunity to thrive afterwards, right? Mm-hmm. And the students that I had, like, hey, you know, I had a rough group of students, but at the end of the day, like, we all got to where we were supposed to get because we understood as a collective group, with me building community with them, what we needed to do. And I had seniors and they had deficits or whatever, but I never looked at them through a deficit lens, because I think that once you start looking at young people through a deficit lens, then it doesn't allow for you to see their greatness or their potential to be great. And so coming in first couple of days of school, wet behind the ears in terms of never really being in the classroom, and that's what you see, and that's what you come to social media with, man, that's bullshit and it's performative. And people need to call it out.
It's wild too, right? Because I automatically went to the systems and structures. I didn't even think about the students, because I would never even assume that somebody is putting students on blast that way. Yeah. And so I appreciate that lens, because that's just not something you should ever do. At the same time, you know, I have taught at the post-secondary level. You teach at the post-secondary level. I have taught at the secondary level, right? Yeah. At the high school level. And I have received students early on and felt the, like, what happened before these students got to me? Yeah, right. These students are unprepared, but like something went down. Like, it's not a student fault. Somewhere the system is failing these students, so that when they get to me, they're not ready to sort of sit day one and do the things we need to do together and face that reality of, oh, I have to start like a lot more basic than I assumed I was going to need to start this class. Yeah. And so that's why I said I can say, like, I know what that feels like. I never would have gone to social media. Then again, when I was doing this stuff, there was no social media to go to. Yeah. So. That's a real feeling.
Yeah, but think about this though, Steve. If you got young people that now have to come back to your class after a million views, views of the whole world seeing how your teacher feels about you, how your teacher feels about your ability, right? Like, bro, he don't really want to teach, because if I'm Houston ISD and I'm the superintendent of Houston ISD, and I know that you're a first-year teacher that's only been there for a couple of days, I'm getting you the fuck out of my system. You gotta go. You're not here for kids.
No, you're right. There's no way you get. Yo, be classroom famous. That's it. That's the name. There's no way. That's the title of this episode. Be classroom famous.
Excuse my language. I'm sorry, but I'm passionate about this. I gotta get you away from. You gotta get you away from me because you're a liability, bro. You what? Like if you're the principal of that school, like bro, you ain't even come to talk to me. If you're the department chair of the English department, bro, you ain't even come talk to me about no strategies about how we can work through this or whatever. You ain't do anything. You took it straight to social media to the classroom observers that are on social media. Like what the fuck? What are you doing?
All the armchair educators.
Yes, and bro, you cannot even imagine how many people have chimed in and have made content out of it or whatever, good or bad. And it's like, man, that's crazy. I'm not putting kids in a position that way. I'm just not doing it.
But I want to know where he got that polo from. Stop playing.
Nixon 5. So in other news, we got Don Lemon. That has brought some serious news to us, right? And I want to play this video, but I want to warn people that are watching this right now, like, yo, this is a trigger. This is a trigger video, so beware. But we're gonna talk about it on the other side.
It's an alert into the Don Lemon Show newsroom, and I warn you, this is disturbing. I don't know if you've seen this video of an 18-year-old black woman being slammed to the ground and punched in the face by an Arkansas State Police trooper during a traffic stop. Her name is Elisa Hackett. And again, warning, this video is disturbing to watch.
Not resisting, not resist.
I need to call Mama.
No, stop.
But what am I doing? Oh, no.
Stop.
This is illegal.
Turn around. Turn around. Who said I can't punch you in your face?
Somebody call Mama. Help.
Turn around.
Now, Elisa is crying out for help. She's asking to call her mother. And according to the trooper's own report, he said he punched her in the face with a closed fist because she wouldn't roll onto her stomach. Now, civil rights attorney Ben Crump is representing Elisa. He's demanding a use of force investigation. And yes, the history matters here as well as it did in the Nolan Wells case. She is a young black woman. This happened in Arkansas. We know black Americans have been disproportionately subjected to police force. Crump said, if you can't handle a teenage girl without taking her to the ground and punching her in the face, you should not be wearing a badge.
Bro, I'm gonna have to agree with my fraternity brother, Benjamin Crump, Esquire, on this one, man. If you cannot rationalize with an 18-year-old, then you shouldn't be in the police force.
I mean, yes, and there is a significant size difference between those two individuals as well, right? So it is not just that, it is the fact that he looks like he outweighs her by at least 30, 40, 50 pounds. He's taller than her by at least, looks like a foot, given the way the camera angles are. I can't tell, but there's a large height difference. So he is overpowering in that situation. And like, it is disturbing to watch. And I completely agree. We've got to investigate that, because that appears on that video to be super problematic from the use of force perspective. I don't know how else to talk about it. And my heart breaks for that young girl, because she's calling out for her mom, and it's horrible,
bro. So I think with black and brown kids, right, it's this rush to adultify children. Right?
That's
and
a
so
child.
Just because somebody has a driver's license and they can whip the whip around or whatever, doesn't mean that they're an adult. And so I look at it like the benefits of community policing, right? So like benefits of community policing is that I'm going to treat you the way that I would want you to treat my child. That's and right. So if you are saying to me that you would want me to take your kid, throw him to the ground and punch them in the face, and you would be okay with that, right? So it's like, if you wouldn't be okay with that with your own child, why the hell are you okay with doing that to black and brown kids? And like this just so happened to be on body cam. What about the things that are occurring that are not on body cam that happen consistently all the time to black and brown folks that force this distrust between the police and the community? It's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, and I think when you're in a position where you have the legal right to use force, you have added responsibility to use force in the most sort of sparing ways possible, right? Because you have that legal authority. like, you know, those of us in the class, those of us who have been in the classroom, those in the schools, we don't have the right, we have no legal right to use the force, right? There's just not something we can do. And so it is very clear cut that if any force is used, there's like people getting fired, people getting spent, like things are happening. But when you have the legal ability to use force over another human being and potentially take life from another human being, you should have the added responsibility of ensuring that every time you do use force, it is well justified.
Yeah. So me, I'm a law and order kind of guy. Won't even lie to you. Won't even try to toe the line. But when I see videos like this, it starts to make me think about defunding the police, right? And so I think the messaging in defund the police was totally wrong, totally off-putting, right? And so I think new messaging should be retraining the police. Like everybody needs to be retrained, bro. Everybody needs to start from ground zero and be retrained in terms of how to be culturally sensitive, in terms of dealing with people that don't look like you. It's the same way that we have these DEI conversations with teachers about interacting and engaging with families that don't look like them and how to make the most productive efforts in order to do so. I feel like we need to do the same thing with the police. The police need to be on notice in terms of like if you're encountering marginalized communities, how you treat those communities, right? Like I think that's extremely important because, you know, for you to just treat people like crap and think that that's okay is beyond me.
Yeah, and I don't know. Listen, I don't know about. I agree with you, and I don't know anything about the ongoing training that are required in law enforcement. That is like I have zero knowledge. This is a place where I don't know any knowledge. Yeah. What I can say to you is, in the education space, we have a requirement for continuing education and continuing reinforcement of key values and key principles. And I think anytime you are dealing in a role that is public facing on behalf of the public good, public school teachers, there should be a responsibility of ongoing consistent training around critical procedures, particularly right when you hold significant authority and power over the segment of whatever it is that you're working in. And so maybe they have those things. I don't know, and I'd love for someone to teach me.
You know that's not true. We'll use New York City case in point, right? If there was a rule in New York City, right, and with NYPD that the majority of the officers that live and work that work for the NYPD have to live in New York City, then it would be a different response as to like how people would approach the work. Whereas you got people that are coming from Westchester, coming from like Middletown, coming from the far depths of Long Island that are coming
Suffolk County,
Suffolk County, in order to come into police folks that they know nothing about, don't want to know anything about. It's a totally different conversation than if you have an officer that lives in the area, that polices in the area, that understands the context of being in those communities. It's totally different.
Well, I mean, I feel the same way about educators, right?
Of course.
Teachers should like. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. And even with that, there's a responsibility for continual learning and training because this like what education. Things in education are always changing, evolving. We're learning new methodologies, we're learning new practices. We're evolving to new types of students. We're constantly forcing our teachers and our people in the classroom to evolve to the changing society that we are teaching. And I have an honest question of whether or not that same type of principle is used with law enforcement. I don't know. I'm not saying it's not. I'm wondering if it is, because if not, that is what we need, right? Because these communities continue to change. What is acceptable, like, use of force that can these things evolve and change, and you just need to refresh your skills. And if that's not happening, that there's a real problem there.
The only refresher that's happening, bro, is the gun range, right? We're going to the gun
range. They need to stay proficient. I know.
Stay efficient so that we could kill people. That's the only.
No, I think that's right. I also think that I'm going to put my head on as a parent right now. The idea that my child gets pulled over and is under threat of being arrested, and that no one is allowing that child to call me and to be there for that child is wild to me, right? Like, that is the fact that this poor young girl is calling out for her mom, asking to call her mom, begging to call her mom. Right. And as a parent, right? To think that that is my child out there begging for me to be there and me not being in that space, and someone is not allowing that child to come in contact with their parent is like, that is a practice that just needs to be changed. To your point, we got to stop feeling like an 18-year-old child. They are a child, right? Is an adult and be able to handle that themselves. We need to get these parents, and they're the first ones to complain that the parents aren't involved. And here's someone who's saying like, I want my parent involved, and they're not allowing that to happen.
So let's keep it a buck, bro. If that's a 18-year-old white girl, 18-year-old white boy, that's not happening.
Well, here's what I'll say is, I haven't seen those videos.
I said it. I don't need you to say I said it.
Yeah, I just haven't seen those videos. Show me the videos that it's happening. Like, show it to me. Like this, that's all. I'm an evidence guy. I like data, I like evidence. Show me the videos
Arkansas, that's not happening that way. I'm
just saying, show it to me. If it is,
if it's happening, Chicago, that's not happening that way because of the ramifications of knowing what's going to happen to you if you do that kind of All right. So, bro, rarely do I court politicians, right? Because I feel like all of them are liars, and like all of them, they just do what they need to do in order to get into office. And then once they get into office, they forget about their platforms, forget about their platitudes, forget about the promises that they made to people, and no one really holds them accountable, right? But I think I have found someone that is different, and I wanna get your take on this guy. We'll talk about it on the other side.
I'm Egyptian American. I am both African and Arab. That's what North Africa is. And if I want to teach my daughters about their African heritage, you know where I take them? The Charles H. Wright Museum has the best Egyptian antiquities exhibit in the Midwest. I can also take them to the Arab American National Museum in Dearborn, has the best exhibits on Arab history. Both of those things are critical to me. And so in some respects, it puts me in a position to be able to speak to both sides of that heritage. To say that too often there is a kind of racism, especially an economic racism, perpetrated in black communities by business owners who share my Arab ethnicity. And I think it's important for us to have that conversation about what it looks like to be invested in the communities in which we work. And I'll tell you, the conversation's come a really long way. I mean, when I started as health director in 2015, it was a very different conversation than it is right now in 2026. And I hope that a lot of my advocacy and my work played a part in that.
What was it, if I may? What was the conversation like in 2015 versus today?
It was this assessment that there was no responsibility paid to the people who are your customers in your local community. You own that business. It's your business. Do as you will. I'm like, not quite.
Meaning we're talking about Arab and Muslim business owners, maybe who own a liquor store or a gas station within the city of Detroit.
And there is a responsibility, I think, to recognize that everything from the products you carry to the way that you treat your customers, to how you move money in the local community, has to signal a kind of respect and appreciation for and an empowerment of that local community. And I think that, again, that conversation has come a very, very long way.
Bro. So I'm putting this to you. We heard what he said within the context of Detroit, in the context of Arab business owners in Detroit.
What up, Doe Detroit? What up, Doe?
What up? Detroit versus everybody. What up, Detroit?
What up, Doe?
All right. But so I'm posing this question to you as being in New York City and the bodega owners in New York City. Doesn't this ring the same truth?
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, the fact that she went right to liquor store owners in the hood, like, I felt the kind of way about that, but I'm gonna figure it for that. But you know, I do think there's this ring of truth, right? And I think there is this. This goes to what I feel is sort of the what we were just talking about, and that is the slow erosion of what it means to be in community with somebody, right? We used to think of community as the group of people around us that we needed to take care of, right? And so if you owned a store in the community that you lived, like, you had every intent to ensure that what you sold, how you sold it, was in support of that community and betterment, because that is the place where you lived. And I think far too often we are, because of this push towards making money, and I ain't mad at nobody who makes money. So this is not that, right? Like, I ain't mad at nobody, but the responsibility of entering a community, right, as whatever your profession is, when you enter a community, a respect for that community feels critical. And I feel like that is what he is talking about. I think that is what you're alluding to, is that when you walk into those communities, you have to have respect for those communities. And I feel like we have lost that for some reason, right? And so there is no taking care of each other, right? And that just feels like what we're missing. And, you know, in terms of him being a quote unquote honest politician, he's talking a good game right now. We got to see what happens if he gets in. Like, what I've appreciated about my mayor, I keep calling him my mayor, is that my man is sizzle and steak. He was talking the talk, and now he's walking the walk, and I can't be mad at him because he's doing the things he said he was going to do.
Bro, Mondami is on point, man. Listen, anytime you have the versatility of being able to say that Netanyahu is a war criminal and we need to arrest him in New York, and then give a speech heralding the champions of past for the New York Knicks, right? Like, anytime you have those dualities and you're able to wear multiple hats that way, I'm gonna shout you out for your talent, right? Because he's a talented guy. One thing I want to address real quick. So Mama Toya, shout out Mama Toya, Philadelphia.
Aren't you Republican, bro? We both are.
I want to answer this complicated question of, aren't you a Republican, bro? And so the long answer is it's complicated.
It's complicated. It's like a Facebook status in the early 2000s. It's complicated.
The relationship is very complicated at this point, given the fact that we have so much going on in this party that's just so unlike what I committed myself to. And so, I don't know.
I feel like as someone who's been a registered Republican since I was 18 years old, I feel like the party left me.
Yes.
Right?
Say more.
And like things that were fundamental. You know, we used to believe in limited government, but still the importance of a centralized government. Yes. We used to understand the importance of key social programs to the betterment of our communities, while also ensuring that we do those things as efficiently as possible. Yeah. We have veered so far into soundbite talk that like that nuance is gone. And I was about to say, that's what I think about Mamdani. That's what I think about Syed. This is what I think about. There are a few other politicians. I think what we are seeing is people who can embrace nuance and communicate and talk clearly about the nuance of situations. That is what's so appealing to about these individuals, is that they're not using platitudes in five-word sentences. They're talking about them with the depth of understanding that is woefully missing in today's body politics.
Because they're not talking to non-readers. They're talking to people that can read, right? They're not talking to deplorables. They're talking to people that are upstanding citizens. There's a difference between being a deplorable and being an upstanding citizen, or being on the pathway to becoming an upstanding citizen. It's two totally different concepts. It's two totally different audiences, and I like the way that they're moving towards talking to those audiences. I don't want to dumb this down, bro.
Yeah. But I think they are talking to them. I think the fact that they are willing to say in 30 words what other people say in 5 words isn't purposely meant to talk to folks who have traditionally stopped listening to that deeper language, to say, here's what this all means. Let me help you understand where I'm coming from. So not that you just walk away with an assumption of who I am, but you truly understand my position on this. And I do think that if we are going to start to find a way to move our political discourse to a better place, we have to be able to communicate with depth and with clarity and intention. Whether or not people listen is a different story, but we've got to be able to communicate that.
Yeah, agreed. Final thoughts.
Listen, as you all know, I am a very proud New Yorican. Stuff on my island right now is pretty tough. We've been under water restrictions all summer. It's gotten worse. And so if you have the means and the ability, I sincerely hope that you look into different ways that you can help the people in Puerto Rico get access to clean water. It feels as such a basic necessity. And so shout out to my family and to my people on the island. I'm doing what I can from this spot, from where I sit, but it's obviously not enough and could use more help.
Yeah, thanks for naming that, bro. First fundraiser is going to be towards Puerto Rico. Thanks for the info from the link. I'm gonna get my team on it, and we're gonna do what we can. My final thought is to the Nolan Wells family. We're still with you. We still see you. We still want answers the same way that you all want answers, and we'll, we're gonna get this done. Those are my thoughts, man. Like I want answers for this family. I want answers. Yeah. So we'll see you all next week. Peace. Knicks in 5.
Knicks in 5.